I was trying to figure out how to live life and how to create the kind of lifestyle I wanted for myself. And that looks for me like mm, time freedom, right? Being in control of my time, being someone who is able to um, make my own schedule and have my own hours when it comes to my freedom and my flexibility and my work life. And the other part of my life was having financial independence, right? So, not depending on the typical job and the typical lifestyle of the 9 to 5. And so that is what I've always been on the path to create. But I would also compare. So this is where the difficultness of experience of my life came in, was me comparing myself to people who had 9 to 5s and who are professionals and who are working, excuse me, and who are working like regular jobs. And that's not what I wanted to create for myself. I didn't want to work in corporate America. And I also didn't want to be um, someone who didn't use her creative abilities. So basically, I would always force myself to be in spaces that I didn't want to be. And I knew that it wasn't working out for me because I wasn't able to be my happy, lucky go self in these situations. So it was just a really difficult time for me to see that this wasn't the path that I wanted for myself, and I was forcing something that wasn't working. And then I came to the realization that, oh my gosh, like this isn't, that's just not who I am. That's not what I'm built for. That's not what my focus is in this life. And so I came to the realization that, you know what, Toro, like you don't have to live life like this. You don't have to um, live according to what societal norms are. And I literally had to be, I literally had to forgive myself and be okay with the fact that where I am is where I'm meant to be. And so a lot of this was like eternal work, like mental conversations and a lot of like, and a lot of putting myself in places where there were other like-minded people. So just feeding my thoughts and my body with healthy, um, healthy, a healthy outlook, but also like information. So feeding my body and my mind with healthy information. So seeing other people who did it, watching other people who did it, copying other people who did it. But so this is just my experience, like understanding that I am, um, I'm sorry, I'm getting all of these messages as I'm like talking online and they're distracting me. So excuse me for having my thoughts all over the place. But basically, what I was trying to say is that I had to be in a place where I was okay with the standard of life that I was living, um, and be okay with the fact that um, I was, I am, and was deciding to live a certain life that not many people would be comfortable with or would be okay with. Um, and just learning to be at peace with the present and to be at peace with the past, because I always felt like I was behind. I always felt like everybody had um, everything that I wanted or were in the places that I wanted to be, but I wasn't there. And I had to figure out like, why wasn't I there? And I learned that just it wasn't who I was meant to be. Like, and I'm not saying like you're not meant to be something, because you can be whatever you want to create. And so that's what I realized. Like, I want to create a certain way of life for myself that didn't consist of feeling stressed or feeling overwhelmed or feeling um feeling like I didn't have my own life to myself. And so basically, um, building my business and building the kind of life that I wanted was what suited me best, and taking my time with it. And so I've also learned that I'm just someone that just needs time. I need time to build, I need time to create, I need time to heal. And so basically, that's all the things that I have created for myself. And so by living an unconventional life, I realized that um, not everything, not the way I'm trying to figure out how to say this. So not the way people are living is meant for everyone, right? So in society, we see that everybody has this structured way to go about life. And then you have I wouldn't say few, but then you have your other the other population that kind of lives a lifestyle different from the mainstream life, the mainstream lifestyle, or the mainstream of way of making money, or living. And nothing's wrong with that. People flourish in that, right? It's what our society is built on. It's what our structure is focused on. And then you have other people who live a different lifestyle, and that is where I stand. And that's where my other topic comes in, which is knowing your needs, right? Physically and mentally and emotionally, based on your health. So, as some of you might know, maybe some of you don't know, I have sickle cell anemia. And so I really don't want to get into what sickle cell is, but basically, I really struggle with having a lot of energy, right? So having a lot of energy to work a 9 to 5, or to to be in corporate America or whatever. So for me, and I don't know, I'm not trying to make that an excuse or anything, but for me, I don't have the energy or the stamina to be constantly working, just because I get physical exhaustion, and obviously, like, it it puts a lot of stress, and mental exhaustion, because that puts a lot of stress on your body as well. So I tend to get tired easily, and if I'm stressed out, that can cause a flare up of my condition, which is pain in the body, which can lead to like other um, stuff, but I don't want to go into. So basically, I've been struggling with maintaining my energy this past week, and I've had to really slow down. And this is what I tend to do a lot. I tend to need to slow down quite a bit. So and at these points, I get really hard on myself, right? Like, no, Toro, like, you need to go out, you need to be doing this, you need to get that done, you need to go here. And I've always realized, and I've always known that kind of mindset just does not help me, because it puts me back in that place where I feel like I need to be more, I don't know the word, but I need to be more, how do you say? I have to maintain the exact amount of energy, if not more, with the rest of the world. Like, whatever the entire world, however it works, however the construct of society is built, like that whole "you're being lazy" or "you're not doing enough" mentality still is somewhere embedded in my thoughts, right? But I have to overcome that by speaking the opposite to myself, telling myself, like, no, you do have some things that are kind of hindering you from having the energy that you truly want, right? And then understanding like my body and understanding just the times that like the seasons or this I wouldn't say the seasons, but one seasons, but also two different times of the months that where I have higher energy and I can get a lot done, or I'm low on energy and I need to rest. So being aware of my body, being aware of my needs, being aware of um, just knowing what I need to do in order to feel supported physically for myself and mentally, because let's be honest, like this world isn't very kind to your, I don't know how to express it, but this world just isn't very kind to our lives. And if we're not going to get kindness out in the world, or it's far and few, but don't get me wrong, like I really do see the world as a kind place, but let's be honest, it's not always kind to us. But one thing that I do want to say is if we're not getting the kind of like support that we're looking for out in the world, then we have to give that to ourselves, right? So we have to be the ones who really put in the effort to love on ourselves and support ourselves and care for our bodies and our spirit and our mind. And so that's what holistic coaching is about, like just being cognizant and aware and in practice of giving that support to your inner experience. So what I've come to realize is just that, okay, I can't be my own worst enemy, right? I have to be conscious and present of how I think about myself when I'm going through these things, right? When I'm not feeling well, when I don't have a lot of energy, or I don't have just a lot of mental stamina to push myself to go and do work for the day, and being able to be at peace with it, right? And that's what I went through this weekend. So basically I had to realize that no, Toro, like this is what always happens around this time of this month. I get very exhausted and low in energy, and very like emotional and moody, and that's when I'm the hardest on myself, because I feel like no, I should get up and I should be doing more, and I should be going to meetings, and I should be creating and things like that. But honestly, like you can only do so much when you don't have um the energy to do what it is that um you have a list of things to do. And so I kind of feel like I'm rambling, but just to wrap it up is just for you to kind of understand that your body is built a certain way for a specific reason, and that you need to honor it. And that's what I had to do. I had to honor the way that my body is existing in this world. I had to honor the way that my life has kind of I don't know how to explain it, but evolved, basically. Yeah. So evolved. I had to honor the way that my life has evolved. And I had to honor the way that I am expressing who I am in this life, which is someone who doesn't feel connected to like having this worker bee mentality. And don't get me wrong, there's still parts of me that has that, but I know when to utilize it, and then I know when to set it aside and take on another mindset, which is being more present to my needs and being okay with needing to self-care, self-love, and self-accept. And that's what I had to do over this weekend. And that's what I have to do and have been doing for the rest of my life. And so I encourage you to take time and kind of assess in your life which areas you feel like, man, I could really use a bit of more mental and personal, interpersonal support around the way that I feel about working out, losing weight, creating a business, having a work-life balance that is sustainable and just supports you. And also just going after whatever it is that you desire for yourself. What is the best avenue for getting there, right? Because not everything works for everyone is basically what I'm trying to say. And so I am having a free online workshop, and I would love for you to sign up to be on that workshop. And that workshop is basically focusing on how you can create better self-care habits, how you can support yourself, and we'll just discuss like some of the issues you might be struggling with as a woman of color trying to self-care, or just a woman in general, a global woman in this world trying to create a better experience for herself and a better standard of lifestyle. So I've left the link below, so you can go ahead, just shoot me a message on just saying that you'd like to be a part of the free online workshop, which should be happening sometime next month in November. And yeah, so I hope you got a lot of useful information or insight on today's live feed. And if you have any more questions or anything that you'd like to express, please feel free to DM me on my Instagram page at ade.toro, or you can send over an email at info@soulisticcoaching.com. And I am leaving the link in the description box below. 1 second. Yes, so I just put that in the description box. So if you're interested and if you have any more questions, go ahead and you can leave a question at my email at info@soulisticcoaching.com. If you like, you can also check out my website at soulisticcoaching.com for more information there as well, or to sign up for a consultation. So anyway, it was a pleasure being with you guys today, and I will be back on this week for more techniques, information, tools, tips, tricks around self-care and self-awareness. And it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for being live with me, and I will talk to you later. Mwah. Bye. Take care.